This is the Rebel Scum podcast. Available in video on YouTube and audio wherever you listen to your podcasts. Every week, Brock and James talk the latest rumors, news, and theories from a galaxy far, far away. Support us on Patreon for exclusive offers and join the Star Wars discussion. Patreon.com/Rebel Scum podcast. Here are your hosts, Brock and James.
You're always scum. Rebel Scum.
Rebel Scum. There it is. 6 years of this plastic mask. Happy Halloween to all our friends. It's a spooky season. Rebel Spookcast. I'm Brock. This is... You might be muted. I can't tell. You're not moving your lips, so I'm not sure.
Darth Maul.
And it's Halloween. What is the third pumpkin behind you, or like the one on your right supposed to be?
Brock, I found this on Google 2 seconds before we went to air.
It's a good idea, but now as I look at it, I'm like, what is that supposed to be?
Which one? This one? This one there? That's visible or not? That
to
one?
your right, yeah.
That one. I don't have my glasses on. I can't see anything.
Yeah.
Darth Maul is old.
Yeah.
And I can't. Hold on. It is. I'll have to look at it at another time. Can you hear me okay? Do I sound great?
It sounds awesome.
Sounds like you're on just small. Oh boy.
Sounds like you're on old time radio.
Hold on. I'm gonna do the whole thing like this. People listening are like, "What's going on?" I am wearing, as you said, the Darth Maul mask from Dollarama for the sixth time. I guess the sixth. And it got a rip in it. It got a little rip on the bottom. This thing, I bought this at Dollarama, the dollar store.
Yeah.
When I don't know, was it our first year or second year? I guess it was probably our second year. So 6 years.
Yeah.
We've been doing this for 299 episodes. I did the math yesterday,
wow.
Brock. We have missed. Guess how many weeks in total we have missed?
Probably like 5 months total, I would assume. Something like that.
No, way less than that, actually. 65 weeks we've missed.
What is
That's
that
not bad. That's a year.
Bad.
That's a year of
less
the whole year. But but it's not that bad. Like that's pretty good. Like this summer we took some time, and then a few years ago, and and if you think about it, during COVID when we were on every single day, those weren't episodes, but they were. My cat is sleeping beside me also, and she's sorry, I didn't even know she was there. Just scared me a little bit. It's spooky season. It's Halloween. Are you dressing up as Star Wars for Halloween?
No.
Oh!
I'm going to sleep. Honk shoe, honk shoe, honk shoe. No, I am. Who knows? Who can say? It's like, oh right, it's Halloween next week.
Yeah, Tuesday, Halloween.
Yeah. I feel like I was gonna say something. I don't know. That's one thing about Dollarama, our big dollar store here in Canada. It's like every year there's always some kind of Star Wars thing in their store. Like obviously there's like one or two little costumes, but like some random, like usually Phantom Menace or prequel like mask. Usually like Jar Jar is a mask in the Dollarama. So it's always like, oh, there's one random Star Wars thing.
I haven't seen any this year though. I haven't seen any of the Star Wars masks this year. I haven't been to that many Dollaramas this year, but I haven't seen them because every time I see it, I'm like, maybe I should buy a replacement mask, like just in case, because this one's starting to rip. Next year it's going to be taped up. Disney said, I thought you made up the name Dollarama. No, Dollarama it's also Walmart's biggest competitor in Canada also, which says a lot about our shopping experiences here in the Great White North. Check this out also. My friend that I work with, Steve, I was going to put this up there. This is a Darth Maul door This is from Liquidation World for $1. This is a party door
Oh.
sign. So one day, Brock, this is going to be behind me, and you're going to be like, ah.
It'll occasionally come into the shot, depending how the light bounces off of you for your virtual background. But yeah,
I was going to take, okay, if I take the virtual background off, it looks terrible. I'm not that the virtual background looks good. I'm not going to argue that, but do you see me right now? Did I change?
yeah, I see your background.
Yeah, it's like what's the, oh, now I can't change it because, oh, there we go. So I got this here, but we can also do the one that they give you. Brock, I don't know if you want me to go back there and play some piano, but I'll go do that right now. This way. I'm going this way. Oh no. Star Wars has never been scarier. So you know what? I'll just take it off. It's distracting everybody. I don't know what that is. A Tusken Raider? Let's go with that. It's probably like Abeloth. Yeah. Remember Abeloth? Everyone was obsessed with Abeloth at the end of Ahsoka. They're like, Abeloth!
Oh, yeah.
I read a book 27 years ago. Abeloth is coming. It looks just like, no, I have a window. I guess it's not daytime. So it's a spooky window.
Nah. Spooky. Window into your soul.
I have this artwork from Venomous. Artwork from Venomous right here.
Wow. When did you get that?
I would say at least 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago. It's been on my wall forever. And we're painting this room. Nice. There's a fly. There's a fly. Shoot fly. So
what content?
Did you watch the I don't know if it's out yet, the colorized Werewolf by Night?
Yeah, I think it's out there. I wouldn't mind watching it, but no, I have not. No, I have not. As long as it's hanging out with Andrew, boom, suck it.
Oh my god! I hope that's real.
Yeah.
Your husband's in Canada. Why is he freezing? Did he call you?
Actually, I don't know what it's like out in the woods here, but it was warm. I didn't wear a jacket last 2 days.
It was like, well, there's a fly buzzing around. It's gross, grotesquely warm now for this time of the year. I was like, I don't know if I need to go out in like a snowsuit or today was shorts. Well, I was like, ooh, it was like 20 today, which is, I don't know what that is, 77 in American. I don't know.
I don't even know. I just think there's a U. There's an extra U in the word somehow.
All of our words, like all of our words.
British U.
It's weird too, and we won't get into it. But you know, we can't go. Let's talk. Okay, so the Werewolf by Night, the colorized version is coming out. I got to be honest with you, Brock. I have zero interest in watching it color. I thought it was fine in black and white. I don't want to watch it in color. It's a black and white movie. Anyway, I understand what they're doing. Kids don't want to watch black and white. Neither does my wife. So whatever. But Star Wars, we talked about it a little bit last year. Star Wars now, we got the Night Troopers coming up. It seems like it's getting a little bit further down there. Are they ever going to go the horror route for Star Wars? Are we going to get to that point ever? And for me, I think I said this last year. I'm feeling it this year, Brock, especially now with the Night Sisters. Let's do it. Just give me a one-off Halloween 20-minute special, even if it's just Wookiees singing and watching things like the Christmas special. Like, just give me something like that, because I'm all in on that. But make it good is what I'm like. Just make it good. Don't worry about making it connect to this. I don't really care about that, but make it good.
Yeah, no, I don't see why not. Or it's like, I don't know. It's just like, what is a Star Wars movie or show? It's like, what is the I don't want to say theme, but it's like, what is the vibe? Like, it's like, are we ever going to get like a rated R episode or movie? And so like that horror concept falls in that. It's like, does all their content have to be family friendly? I don't think that's always a mandate. So, will they do horror? Like, I think Disney Plus is the best place to do it. This makes me like think, have we talked about this or touched on this in any past Halloween? Could you imagine if every Halloween episode is us just in different locations saying the exact same thing? Like,
this is actually a repeat of last year's. Repeat of last year's.
Not to deviate from my answers, I think if they were to do it, now is the best time, because Disney Plus, you just allow it. Like Werewolf by Night, you wouldn't have without a Disney Plus like streaming platforms. So let's do it. Why not?
I think Werewolf by Night is the last Marvel thing I've watched since Spider-Man.
Nice.
I think Spider-Man and then Werewolf by Night. It piqued my interest. I was like, this looks like something I want to watch. I just think Star Wars, here's the thing, is there's so much in Star Wars and what is Star Wars and blah, blah, blah. But if you set something like using Werewolf by Night as the example, if you use Werewolf by Night as the example, you set something in the universe. We've seen weird creatures in Star Wars. They could do something just with some weird creatures somewhere unconnected to it. Maybe there's a Jedi in High Republic era or in prequel era, because I think you have to stick, or you go in the future, but they don't want to do that. So you stick in prequel, High Republic, or that's it, because they're dead after that. So you stick in that, and you just have like a Jedi on a mission, and he's being hunted by something. Like there's ways to do it. I think that you could still make a Star Wars, and I think the big thing is even I think Werewolf by Night. I guess, I mean, Werewolf by Night doesn't really connect to anything ultimately when you watch it, right? Like you can watch that standalone without knowing what the MCU is, really. If I remember correctly. Where I think Star Wars, you can do that too. It doesn't have to be anything, but what you could do, Brock, is you could have a character like Ahmed Best appearing in Mandalorian, right? You can have a character like that be your protagonist, and then it can connect that way. Like it'd be a character that's been established elsewhere, like a minor whatever, and you can do it that way. So I think they could do it. I think it'd be a lot of fun. I kind of miss specials. Like like Christmas specials, Halloween specials. We used to get them all the time. Now we're stuck. It's still the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown for 60 years or whatever. Rudolph. Like, give us something, man. Give us something, Disney Plus. I'll go to the theater to watch it also, but give it to us.
Yeah. No, you're right. It's actually Disney. I think I always talk about this. Like Disney Plus is so smart, where it's like, here's all your Halloween episodes from every series, or here's the last thing they did, I think, was like, here's all the Ahsoka episodes you need to watch for the new Ahsoka series. I'm like, they could easily do that. It's like, here's a Halloween themed, or like maybe it's not as much Star Wars, but with like Clone Wars and Rebels, you can make it happen. So, but yeah, I don't know. Like it bums me out because it's like, what is our next Star Wars thing? So like stuff like this could like fill in those gaps.
Yeah, and I mean, the other thing too is because you look at, we talked about how Andor was like 250 million, and every episode of these shows is like 12 million now or whatever for Marvel and Star Wars. It's a lot of money. And it's hard to recoup that. But the thing with specials is every if you do a Halloween one every October, guess what we're going to go watch, right? Like it becomes like a classic over. Like you're like, oh, that was really good. We should watch that every October, and then you go back and you watch it the next October. You go back and you watch it the next one.
Yeah,
and I think that has more staying power than a lot of these series for average audiences, because all of a sudden it's like, let's get the family together and let's watch the Star Wars Halloween special. It's not even Halloween, but it's Halloween's different from Christmas thing in a lot of ways, because Halloween just has to be a little bit spooky, a little bit edgier.
Yeah.
Whereas Christmas is like snow and this. So I just think you do that. I think you bring people back every year. You throw it on your playlist, like you said, on Disney Plus, and you let that thing ride. And I don't know. They've done Disney Plus for almost 5 years now, and to me, it feels like a no-brainer to do something like that. Remember they joked with Favreau about doing a Christmas special when Mando season 1 came out, and he was like, "Yeah, why not? This Halloween, because we have witches now established.
Yeah.
Like we have Ghost, like Morok is established. Like things are established now that I think is like so easy for anyone now to get in and watch. Because if you brought the Night Sisters in just randomly, like here's a Halloween special, and people are watching, like, why is there a witch? Star Wars doesn't have witches. Now it does. Now it does because of Ahsoka.
It's so true. It's like, what is Moloch like, or Morok? It's like, is he a ghost?
Have you seen the pitch meeting for Ahsoka?
I don't think so. No, I haven't. Why?
I randomly came across it the other day. Yeah. I was like, okay, I'll watch it. It was really funny, but they call Morok just a fart. It made me laugh.
Nice.
I find, you know what, I haven't watched Pitch Meeting in a long time, but I
Yeah.
find them funny. But I think also there's people that like take it to like real. They're like, this is proving everything that's wrong with it. I'm like, yeah, it's poking fun at it. Like, don't let that determine your opinion of something. Like, go along with the joke more than anything.
Disney does. He dropped the line from all those. Super easy, barely an inconvenience. Fantastic. Yeah. Now, what were we talking about? Like, yeah, like it's just like you could easily just make anything Halloween. And Disney, I would feel like has. I actually watched a old Donald Duck Halloween cartoon where it's like like Huey, Dewey, and Louie are all dressed up, and they're like, "We just want candy," and they're like, "Haha, I hate you." It's literally the premise is like he hates his nephews. It's like no candy, and then a witch helps them. It's like what?
Yeah, it's
like
that
those
one's
old
called Trick or
style
Treat.
like Disney
Yeah.
shorts. What? Yeah.
Oh, I watch it all the time.
Yeah, it's just like there's like no premise. It's like we're just like look at this animation. Look at it. It's like a man at the World's Fair, like just turning on the light. It's like this was crazy. This made our turning a light on and off. Look at this. This was amazing in 1912. It's like but yeah.
Those Disney shorts are awesome. I grew up watching those on the old Disney Channel or whatever. Yeah, Disney Channel, and then turned it to Family Channel here. I used to grow up watching those things. Good times. Good. Is there anything that you wouldn't want to see in a horror movie from Star Wars? Like for me, it was like no R rating. Don't do blood, and I don't make it like The Conjuring.
They go that far, right? It's like,
can you imagine? It's just like the scariest thing you've ever seen. I gave Aaron a bruise watching the first Conjuring movie. I can't go back to that. I'm bad. Horror movies. Well, you and I, we need to do a video, Brock, where you and I sit down together and watch a horror movie for the first time, and just see how horror. Because I'll be like this. I used to watch when I went to the theater to watch horror movies when I was a teenager. I'd be like this in the theater.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
For people that didn't see that, my hat was tilted down. The beak was covering my eyes. They conjured Sheevy P says Heidi. All right, just watch The Rise of Skywalker. Disney does this. That's scary enough. There's your horror movie, The Rise of Skywalker. Saw, but Star Wars. Who would be
Saw Gerrera?
Saw. And it's all every what's it called? Obstacle that he does is Borgullet.
It's a man's quick decline into insanity as he tries to save the galaxy from whatevs.
Yeah. I just think that there's so many opportunities for them to take these characters and do that with. I'm not saying, like make a trilogy of horror like Star Wars, but a special one-off that we get that we can go back and watch annually would be, because they do it with Lego. Like those Lego things are great. They come out and you're like, ooh, awesome. I don't understand why. Like video games are the same almost. Where why does Lego get to have all the fun with everything? Why can't like we go outside the box a little bit and have some fun that's not Lego? No offense to Lego or anything. Like I'm not knocking Lego. I'm praising Lego. But why can't anybody else do what Lego does?
Because they capture all our imagination. So it's like if you were like to go the like negative, or not negative, but it's like the dark side of your imagination is like, where would you go? You build things with bricks real fast like this. Click, 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 click.
Like, would you go to the theater to watch a Lego movie, a Lego Star Wars movie, like Lego Batman, but with
Star Wars? Yeah, absolutely. Star Wars in the theater? Oh wow!
What's that, everybody? It's been 4 years. This will be 4 years since the last. But I think, you know what? As much as I want to see Star Wars in the theater, I feel like 4 years going by still. It's a lot. Look, I would have gone every year. Obviously, that we would have gone, but it feels good. Like when the next one comes, because I was thinking about somebody tweeted a while ago about The Force Awakens, and I was like, man, remember The Force Awakens? No matter what anybody says about it today, the build up to that movie, right? There was the build up to it, and then we went to go see. You saw it, I think, 100,000 times. I saw it, I think, 5 or 6, somewhere. Like we just kept going to see this movie.
Yeah.
We saw it, I think, every day opening weekend. We were just like, let's just go have fun with it. We saw it D-Box. Like we were just having a good time. But we just remember like how exciting it was to go see Star Wars again in the theater. It had been 10 years. It felt good. I don't want to wait 10 years, but I think the longer it goes, the more that next movie comes, it might kind of re-energize a lot of fans to go back and be excited for Star Wars again.
Yeah, no. That would be great. So it's like, even if they were to like take something that just on Disney Plus and like show it in the theater. I mean, we can show the Taylor Swift Eras tour in a theater and people go crazy. It's like, I mean, maybe we're not gonna make Taylor Swift money with like a random like Star Wars Lego movie, but like, come on, everybody's open to try something new.
Well, I think if they, they could probably put like the Bad Batch in the theater right now.
Yeah,
Ready for it, like they did with the Clone Wars. So
it'll be fun.
Yeah, like Star Wars. I think Star Wars belongs on the big screen, but I do think there's a place for it on the small screen. I think we're getting that on the small screen right now. I think what we're getting on the small screen, I think people are comparing them to the big screen Star Wars, and I think we need to separate them. I still think the shows we're getting, as much as I love them, I still think the shows are more like the novels we got in the 90s versus the movies. They're not the movies. We can when the next movie comes out, we can compare that to the previous 11 movies. But the TV shows are separate, not just on budget, but on the way the stories are being told and all that. So I think we need to keep that separate. We need to keep them very separate and remember that they are two very, very different things.
Yeah. I mean, but that's okay. Like, I mean, I feel like 30 years ago, if you said there was going to be Star Wars on TV, you'd be like, you get out of here. I also would have been like 8. You'd be like, get out of my room. Ah!
30 years ago, Star Wars was dead. Like, legitimately dead. There was the Heir to the Empire, but only nerds read that. Like, it was like Star Wars wasn't around back then. People, I think a lot of the younger kids forget. Like, because for me, I was obsessed with Star Wars for a period of time, and then like it kind of faded, and there was like Ghostbusters and Ninja Turtles, and all these things started to take over for Star Wars, and then Star Wars was dead, and then for me, I got a book, The Truce of Baccarat, when I was like whatever year that was, and I was like, and it kind of like I was like, oh yeah, Star Wars, and I always said the story like every Christmas or Christmas Vacation was on the same tape as Return of the Jedi. And you had to fast forward Return of the Jedi to get to Christmas Vacation. And sometimes I would just start watching Return of the Jedi because I'm like, this is freaking amazing. But Brock, it was Shadows of the Empire. When that thing came out, It was just like, oh my God, it was kind of like, because it was new. Like Return of the Jedi, as much as I loved it, it was Return of the Jedi. I'd been watching it for 10 years or whatever. But Shadows of the Empire was this new Star Wars that was kind of awesome. And it filled the gap in time, and then it was the book, it was a comic, it was a soundtrack, it was a video game, it was toys, it was everything. I didn't get any of the toys; I was too old. Like I was out of the toy playing action figure phase. But it was just like it reminds you how much you love Star Wars. And you're right though. 30 years ago, that was all we had.
Yeah. Like Desi says, 30 years ago, the only Star Wars TV people had was the holiday special. Barely.
No, there was droids and Ewoks.
Yeah, that's true. There's the cartoons.
Yeah, and they were the best things ever. Ewoks on Ice, Brock. I hold that as my crowning achievement in this life. Was that my aunt took me to go see Ewoks on like Ice Capades. I had a Wicket flag on my wall for a decade. Wicket. My sister. We got my sister Princess Nisa. I love the Ewoks. Yeah, I don't know. We complain about Star Wars and this and that, but we forget like we never got it. So is it better not to have it and long for it, or is it better to have it and kind of be like, well, that one wasn't that good? Because if you liked season 1 and 2 of Mandalorian, or one of Mandalorian at least, and then you like Andor, but you haven't liked it. That's still a pretty good percentage. Like you're liking like 30 to 50% of what they're giving you. I'm a sucker, and I've clearly liked everything, and I'm the only one on the planet apparently. Well, you too, but like I understand people's concerns with some of them. The one that always gets me though is still the Book of Boba Fett, because every time I've seen it a couple times, like now I've seen it all the way through twice, and I've watched it the kind of episodes here and there, and I'm just like, I still don't understand. Like, so I watch, I'm like, man, that was so good. And like, oh yeah, I forget everybody hated it.
Or even worse, like not many people watched it. Like it's like that's the thing. It's just sort of like you get to a point where you're like, maybe I don't need to get too concerned about these things because not everyone's watching every single thing, right? So
and I say this all the time. I still think stop calling it after characters, man. It's Star Wars. Stop with the character. That's the like Marvel does it. That's fine, but Marvel is superheroes. Like this is the Star Wars is not about that. Like every Star Wars we watch is the Avengers. It should be like group of people doing whatever, what things doing something. Like that's what it should be. But for some reason, they're very like tied down to naming like everything after the character. It just makes no like. Then when Sabine overshadows Ahsoka for an episode or two, everybody loses their mind. I thought this was called Ahsoka. It should just be called. They should just call it Rebels. They should just call it Rebels. We would have been like, it's season 5. And people who haven't seen it will be like, ooh, a new show called Rebels. And that's all it would have been. Because then you can get away with cutting to Hera for a while and all of that.
Yeah, no, you're right. I also think like I just finished watching finally this second season of The Bear, and there's like 1 or 2 episodes that just sort of deviate with like one character instead of following them like the main character, or there's one that just it's like an episode that is from the past without being explained, sort of. It's like perhaps like people are like, hey, why don't we just do more? Like we don't have to do this. Like episode 1 through 9 goes chronologically. You're just like, or I mean, like The Witcher season 1 is a great example of like the episodes are all out of order, and it's like some people start watching that series because be like, oh, wait, this is. I now pay attention, thinking in like a different frame of mind of what that's like how you ingest content. So it's like I think like there's always an interest to like why don't we switch it up? Like it doesn't mean like oh we have to have the most interesting main character or most interesting villain. It's like no, what if we did it this way? What if we did? I mean, Rebels was a lot like that. Filoni likes to do that where there's a episode that just sort of goes off in a different direction and then maybe gets related back later, but just like, no, we'll do an episode with just Chopper trying to find his leg. It's like, oh, okay. It's like,
it's true. But again, like he goes, stop naming things after singular characters.
Yeah.
Them. Like, I know, or I don't know. That definitely distracts viewers who are watching it too. And in fairness, like Book of Boba Fett, as much as I loved it obviously, but like, when you cut to the Mandalorian for 2 episodes, I don't think there's anything wrong with people saying what's going on because it's called the Book of Boba Fett. For me, I don't really give a crap because it's all just Star Wars. Like it's all Star Wars, whatever. But it's true. It's like, why would you call this the Book of Boba Fett and then cut the Mandalorian for 2 episodes? Like, I mean, it makes like if you were reading a novel, it would make sense because we're getting that character built in. Like that's how. But it's just. You set yourself up for these complaints when you name things after one character, and the whole thing's about Fennec Shan or Mandalorian. Like Boba Fett doesn't even show up at the end of one episode. It's Fennec Shan. It's like, well, why didn't you just make like they should have called the Mandalorian Book of Boba Fett? I think that would have made. I still think that would have made people a little bit happier.
Yeah, maybe I don't know. I think like. The problem with like titling things with Star Wars, it's like even when it's like a Star Wars story, like people aren't going to understand that. They're just sort of like, what is this? I don't know.
Well, people were like, what's where's Rey's parents or where's Rey when Rogue One came out? Like,
exactly.
People are always going to be like that.
Yeah.
I think. I don't know. What do I know?
Yeah. Nothing.
Oh, I definitely know. Definitely know nothing.
Nice.
Trying to find out. We're doing top 5 scary moments later. I don't even know. By the way, Death Troopers. Read Death. I was saying every Halloween. Read Death Troopers. I thought it was coming in Ahsoka, but it's not. There's like they are zombie troopers and Han and Chewie on a ship. It's a really good book. Really fun book. I don't know where it is. Full disclosure, when they moved, I can't find it right now. But I have that. I read that book all the time. I would have read it this Halloween, but here we are. Didn't get to read it. Do you want to go to the odds?
Let's do it.
Never tell me the odds.
Never Tell Me the Odds, brought to you, me, and everyone in the spooky season by patreon.com/Rebel Scum Podcast. If you like what we do, come and support us. We do things, I don't know. I don't support us. So I have no idea what the free content is or the extra content you get by supporting wonderful podcasts like this. Of course, I do know if you become a patron, I never know what it is. Your name gets mentioned every episode. And as you've already heard us, we talk about the people we know through the chat. People like Heidi Feder, executive producer, Barry Brophy, Dennis Allen, Candy Renobi, Randy Kenobi, Mary Kristen Aton, Dale Erdman, Jeff Wilson, Phil Stanifor, Scott D. and Rez.
Josh Price, Matt W. Frank Perkins, Neil Lowry, Cosmic Girl 02, Gleek Play 1, Dinner Nurse, Disney Desi Charlotte, and I hope I'm pronouncing this right, Ron Presac. Let me know how badly I butchered that. I apologize. I also can't read. People think I can, but
I just play a reader on TV. Also, yeah, I was reading this when you were talking. When does he say Obi-Wan's brother?
In the Obi-Wan show to Leia with Zach Braff, that episode.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I think no, this is actually, before we get to the odds, that's a great, like, the point that I agree with this, because people were like, who's Morok as well? And then there's what's Thrawn's right-hand man now called? What's his name?
Oh, Enoch.
People are like, who is he? It's like, they tell you. We for some reason we want to force that there's a twist that it's like somebody underneath these masks. There doesn't have to be. Like, we flat out were told his name is Morok. Why are we assuming he's Starkiller? That's a character that's never been mentioned in Star Wars. Like, he's never been mentioned. If the character is not mentioned, the character doesn't exist. If the character doesn't exist, the character's not going to be the character that you think it is. But sometimes you got to let it go. I think there's an exception. I think Snoke. I think people were in the right to guess who Snoke was, because he said he was been around for so long, and I think it's like, well, who is he then? If he's been around forever, apparently, Snoke was just a underdeveloped character as well. He's a clone. Oh,
good clone.
Good job. I have to read the novel again. Heidi might be right that Owen was Ben's brother. He might have been right. All right, Never Tell Me the Odds. Our first odds. Thank you so much for all the Patreon support, though. It really means a lot. Yeah. Never Tell Me the Odds. Disney Star Wars horror special in the future on Disney Plus. We talked about it earlier. Did Bob Iger listen to our podcast?
I mean, he must have, because Kathleen Kennedy is fired.
Oh, I can't believe it happened. Oh, my God. 33, almost 34 minutes into the show, Kathleen Kennedy coming down the wire. This is coming from at StarWarsMike0.net. Kathleen Kennedy officially fired
because she didn't green light a Halloween special. I think 65% they'll do something at some point. Like, why not? It's like, why not? The Lego ones are fun. Do something. I don't know. But then you're like, do we, Hallmark eyes like Star Wars, where you have like Christmas specials. Like when you open that door, like what happens?
No, I'm gonna go 63%, and I think that you just do a spooky one-off story that's fun, and you never touch
Yeah.
on the spooky. Like you just like this is it. Go enjoy it. And maybe in like 10, 15 years, like
Yeah.
later on in time, you do another one. But that's what I think. We have a write-in odd from Disney. What are the odds? Kathleen Kennedy will be rehired and fired again by the end of this episode. I'm gonna go low, Brock. I'm gonna go. Hold on. No, she just got rehired. And
Oh,
I got it in my ear.
rehired.
I got it in my ear. My earpiece is. Yeah. She was rehired.
Oh my god.
And our next odd, never tell me the odds. Darth Maul will return to live action, Brock. Darth Maul.
Fucking mask. I don't know. I think we need to put that to rest.
No.
As much as I would like to continue that story from Han Solo, I don't think we're ever going back to that. Like, I'm gonna go 20%.
Whoa, I Sabine that one. Whew, now I can make you jump fire. I love that pisses people off that she uses anyway. Yeah, I'm gonna go 27% on that one. I think as cool as it would be to see this Solo, that's 5 years ago. That ship that Millennium Falcon has sailed, unless the Lando movie. I don't know how that would work, so I'm gonna go very, very low on that.
Yeah. Woo.
And our final odd today, never tell me the odds, the Night Sisters will be more prominent going forward in Star Wars.
I mean, I think I brought this up when Jedi Fallen Order came out, where like the one character's like, I am one of the remaining Night Sisters, and I'm like, oh, sick, that would be cool. So it's like, I kind of hope so, even though like the ones in Ahsoka are kind of like, ooh, we're troublemakers. So I'm gonna go 75%, but that's might be biased.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 73%. Because I don't know, you've established them, they're here. You can do so much with them, you can have so much fun with them. So let's keep that ball rolling. So 73% for me. Let us know what your odds are in the comment below. And Brock just got word. I just wanted to move my arms. Here we go. Top five Halloween-ish moments from Star Wars. They're spooky, but it's like more Halloween-ish moments. It doesn't have to be spooky. Like Halloween-inspired moments from it. By the way, next week is our 300th episode.
Wow, that's scary. Yeah.
It would have been nice if our 300th episode happened when there was Star Wars going on. But we'll have a lot of fun with it. We're going to talk, do a little dance, be a good time.
Make a little love.
Number 5, Halloween-ish moments is the Ahsoka, the Night Sisters in Ahsoka doing Night Sistery things. We have witches. Like they keep saying witches. There's nothing more Halloween than a witch. So witches.
I'm going to go Space Worm in Empire Strikes Back. Being inside,
yeah.
That's spooky, scary.
That movie's got a few of them, but I only picked one from it. It's not that one. My number 4, the brain eater thingies from the Clone Wars. Yeah, that thing. I'm going with that. I haven't watched it in years, but I think that's always on my top 5 at Halloween, so that's it.
My number 4 comes from Ahsoka, Zombie Troopers. We read it in Death Troopers, the book. It's like, wow, they did it. It's like, and when you think about it, it's like, oh, that's a fun explanation how they didn't run out of resources or people during the 20 years they were stuck in whatever this planet is.
Yeah, that's my number 3 of the Death Troopers from the book Death Troopers. Look, if there's an opportunity to put troopers on my list, it's happening. So they're on the list. Death Troopers is my number 3. They're zombies. They're awesome.
My number 3 is just Snoke's face. Face, it's weird. Half of it's caved in, and you're like, what are you?
Snoke. My number 3 is did I say 3? My number 2 is the Night Troopers. The Night Troopers are my number 2. Again, I'm a cop-out. If there's an opportunity to put in a trooper, I'm putting it in, and Night Troopers is my number 2. Hi, Dusty.
My number two is the Ice Spiders from season 2 of
Oh!
Mandalorian. I think it's the Frog Lady episode. I can't remember what it was called. Like they bring her somewhere. I don't know. So I think it's second episode of second season.
Yep. It's a long episode too, if I remember correctly.
Shout out to the reference to the oh gosh, who's the original concept artist person for Star Wars?
Ralph
McQuarrie. Those are straight from one of his pictures, I think from a Dagobah concept thing. So it's kind of spooky. You're like, uh-oh, how are we gonna get out of here?
Yeah, no, that was.
And spiders are Halloween.
That's very true, and I don't have it on my list because I hate The Mandalorian. My number one is this is probably the original. Well, actually, I'm going to change my number one. My number one was the Wampa attack in Empire Strikes Back, but I'm going to go with the original jump scare in Star Wars, and that's the Tusken Raiders on Luke when he's looking out. That's a jump scare that actually I think has jumped me. I think that's it. That's going to be my number one because that is the first jump scare. I think it's the only jump scare in Star Wars, maybe. Empire has a lot of choices. Look, my list sucks. Tell me yours. My number one, though, is the Tusken Raider jump scare in A New Hope.
My number one's going to be the sea creatures from that scene in Phantom Menace where they just get bigger and bigger and bigger. Like, I've seen it on occasion on Instagram or YouTube where, like, people take, like, footage or even the CG is so good that it's just, like, it looks like a wide shot of, like, a scuba diver like swimming deep underwater, so you just see that, and then all of a sudden they've animated like a massive creature just comes out of the dark in the background. Like an image like that is like, ooh, that's scary. And it's like, how big was this body of water they're in? It's like the creature got bigger and bigger and bigger. It's like they're not even sea creatures, they're like just lake monsters. It's literally like the Loch Ness monster in that.
It's true. And Disney does his thing. How did ghosts not make your list? Very good point.
What ghosts? Like Force ghosts.
Force ghosts. Yeah, there's a lot of them. Vader killing a bunch of kids. I mean, look, there's a lot of moments. I stuck with what I stuck with, and I made peace with what I did. Princess Leia for life.
Princess Leia. For me, she'll always be royalty. Boom. That is a cool shirt.
Yeah, anyway, those are our top 5 lists. Is everybody trick-or-treating this week? Brock, you are. You already said it to me multiple times that you are trick-or-treating. You're a big trick-or-treater. I'm going trick-or-treating for the first time in, I think, 6 years. Nice. Not me. I'm not going. But we just got a costume for Selena. She looks adorable. If she grows any bigger, we can't take her out. So she can't grow anymore. She got it. Oh, guess what? She got her very first tooth 2 days ago. 2 days ago, first tooth. Terrible night the night before, but she got her first tooth, 13 freaking months old, first tooth. So she's really like, I want to eat steak. Like she's really, she loves food, and she's like, I gotta get that steak. I need teeth, and the teeth are finally coming. What goes? I've never seen a ghost.
What does he calm down? Okay, like I've been awake since 4 a.m. You need to calm down. They're called Force ghosts, okay? Yeah, you need to clarify. We were just talking about that Morok is like a fart ghost.
Morok was on my list for at one point, and then I took him off for the Death Troopers. All right, this is episode 299. Episode 300 is next week. Patreon. I'm gonna have a message. We'll have a message on there for you in a little bit about episode 300. Brock, let's wrap it up. Anything else you want to say?
No. Star Wars, hooray!
Huzzah, Star Wars. Thanks to everybody for watching. The comments have been great. Thank you for listening. Give us a like and subscribe. And until next time, Brock, you were always scum.
Rebel scum.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up on our video. As always, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Rebel Scum Podcast, for all the latest videos.